all experienced on TV, right? So you can see the White House announced that Obama would speak around 9:45. He tweeted just before 10:30, so a full almost 15 minutes, 19 minutes before ABC, NBC, and CBS picked up the news of the death. And they actually reported using the tweet. So they reported actually on the tweet. And you can see the graph. By the way, this graph is the way that we look at live events back home at Twitter. The graph is actually TPS, so tweets per second. So we actually measure and can syncopate what's happening in the real world to tweets. Turns out when events happen in the real world, they also happen on Twitter and sometimes exclusively on Twitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host for the evening, James Franco.
So I'm sure everybody remembers this. This is the Oscars and James Franco walking out. Now he was actually carrying actually a device, and everybody on the stage was actually watching, wondering what he was doing. I don't know how many people remember this or not. He actually was tweeting. So he chose a hashtag, Oscars real time, and actually said right when he came off the stage, this tweet. The tweet was his vantage point, his vector on the story. So I'll show you what he actually tweeted out. So it's interesting. I showed you the first couple of examples were really people using Twitter to explain their world. And here's an interesting story about somebody in the action, in the actual event, using the platform to describe the story. So it's almost giving new perspectives in ways that we haven't seen before. From his vantage point, certainly seeing Halle Berry, for example, up in the front row. So let me talk to you really quickly about who the audience is that's either listening or building these stories on the platform, because I know there were some questions about that. We just announced over 100 million active users, over 600,000 new accounts a day, over 230 million tweets a day, so 230 million pieces of content that are flowing on the platform. It took us 3 years, 2 months, and a day to get to our first billion tweets. We now do that in a week. Actually, first it was a couple of months ago, it was 7 days, so a full week. Now it's more like a working week, 4.5 days. So it shows you how much information is flowing through the platform.